Have you ever looked at a person sitting alone in a crowded room and felt a pang of pity? Have you ever seen someone walking through a park, eyes fixed on the horizon with no one by their side, and wondered what went wrong in their life? We are taught from the moment we can speak that to be alone is to be defeated. We are told that solitude is a shadow, a sign of social failure, or a symptom of a broken spirit. But what if everything you've been told is a lie? What if the person sitting alone isn't missing out on life, but is the only one truly living it? Welcome to Stoicism in Practice. Today, we are dismantling one of the greatest stigmas of the modern age. We are going to explore why some of the strongest minds in history, the emperors, the sages, and the rebels, chose the silence of their own company over the noise of the crowd. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about being pro-soul. If you're ready to reclaim your mind from the chaos of the world, stay with us until the end. Before we dive into the first law of solitude, take a second to subscribe to Stoicism in Practice and hit that notification bell. We are building a community of individuals who prefer depth over surface, and your presence here matters. Let's begin. The world sees the loner as a red flag. In a culture of constant connection, where your worth is measured by your reach and your relevance is dictated by your response time, choosing to unplug feels like an act of war. We are wired for connection. Yes, from the playground to the boardroom, the message is the same. Collaborate, network, belong. To step outside that rhythm is to become a ghost in the machine. We assume the solitary person is depressed, socially awkward, or perhaps just irrelevant. But rarely do we consider the possibility that they are exactly where they want to be. Solitude is not a signal of weakness, it is a reset. It is a refusal to be consumed by the visibility trap. We live in an era where if you aren't seen, you don't exist. But the Stoic knows better. The Stoic knows that visibility is often just a performance, and performances are exhausting. Law number 1. The Internal Refuge. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was perhaps the most powerful man on earth during his time. He had millions of subjects, endless banquets, and a court full of advisors. Yet, in his private journals, he wrote these words: "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Think about that. A man who could have retreated to a literal palace in the mountains chose instead to retreat inward. Aurelius wasn't advocating for becoming a hermit. He was practicing the discipline of the inner citadel. He understood that the world is a storm of opinion, demands, and distractions. If you do not have a place within yourself where you can sit in silence, you will be swept away. For many, solitude is the only environment where this mastery can happen. They choose to be alone not to escape people, but to return to reason. They understand that peace does not come from controlling the people around you. It comes from mastering the person within you. Law number 2, the death of the performance. We are all actors. When we are around others, we unconsciously edit ourselves. We adjust our posture, we filter our thoughts, and we perform the version of ourselves that we think the world wants to see. This is the social tax, the energy we pay just to exist in a group. Some people choose to be alone because they are tired of paying that tax. They have had enough of the surface-level chatter and the masks they have to wear. Solitude is the only place where you can breathe without an audience. It is where you remember who you are when no one is watching. In the silence, You don't have to be on. You don't have to be funny or smart or helpful or relevant. You just have to be. This is a radical act of rebellion. In a world obsessed with curated identities, being your unedited self is the ultimate power. Law number 3, the distinction between loneliness and sovereignty. Psychiatrist Carl Jung famously noted that loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. This is a profound Stoic truth. You can be in a marriage, in a busy office, or at a party, and feel a soul-crushing loneliness because you are surrounded by noise, but devoid of connection. Conversely, you can be physically alone and feel completely whole. This is called solitude. Solitude is the presence of self. Loneliness is the perceived absence of others. The people who choose to be alone have learned the difference. They have realized that the most important relationship they will ever have is the one they have with their own mind. If you are not a good companion to yourself, you will always be a beggar for the attention of others. Stoicism teaches us that we should not be dependent on things we cannot control, and we cannot control how others perceive us or whether they stay. By choosing solitude, you reclaim your sovereignty. You stop being a slave to social validation. Before we move to the next lesson, I want you to pause and reflect. If you've ever found strength in your own silence, I want you to claim that power right now. Type the phrase, "I am in control of my mind," in the comments. Let it be an anchor for your practice today. Law number 4, the Crucible of Truth. Why do most people fear being alone? Because when the noise stops, the truth starts talking. In the silence, you are forced to confront your fears, your regrets, and your insecurities. Most people use busyness and connection as a drug to numb the discomfort of their own thoughts. They need the television on, the music playing, and the phone buzzing because they are afraid of what they might hear if it all went quiet. But the seeker, the one who chooses solitude, uses that quiet as a crucible. The Stoics, like Seneca, believed that we should regularly examine the day in silence. Seneca would sit in the dark at the end of the night and review his actions. He wasn't hiding. He was investigating. Solitude is where you find out what thoughts are actually yours and what thoughts were borrowed from your parents, your peers, or your social media feed. It is the space where you filter the gold from the dross. If you never spend time alone, you are living a life designed by committee. You are a mosaic of other people's expectations. Solitude is the only way to find your own voice. Law number 5, the power of discernment. There is a common misconception that people who like being alone don't like people. In reality, the opposite is often true. People who enjoy solitude often have the highest standards for connection. When you are comfortable in your own company, you no longer act out of desperation. You don't stay in toxic friendships because you're afraid of an empty Friday night. You don't tolerate disrespect just to have a seat at the table. You become discerning. You realize that your time and energy are finite resources. The Stoic knows that we are the average of the people we spend time with. If you aren't comfortable being alone, you will settle for anyone. But if you have built a home within yourself, you will only invite people in who bring peace, wisdom, or genuine joy. Solitude isn't about closing the door to the world. It's about being the gatekeeper of your own life. Law number 6, solitude as a sacred rebellion. We must understand that in the modern world, attention is a currency. Every app, every advertisement, and every social obligation is a hand in your pocket trying to steal your focus. By choosing to be alone, you are staging a coup. You are saying, "My attention belongs to me." Think of the great thinkers of history. Think of Henry David Thoreau at Walden Pond. He didn't go to the woods to escape life. He went to live deliberately. He wanted to see if he could find the essence of existence away from the frantic pace of the 19th century world. If the world was frantic, then imagine what he would think of it now. Today, Stoicism in practice is more necessary than ever. We are bombarded with data, but starving for wisdom. We are connected to everyone, but known by no one. The choice to be alone, even for an hour a day, is how you reclaim your humanity. It is how you stop being a consumer and start being a creator of your own destiny. The person you see alone in the cafe is not a tragic figure. They are a person who has stepped off the treadmill. They are a person who is listening to the silence. And in that silence, they are finding the strength to face the world on their own terms. As we reach the final part of our journey today, remember that the goal isn't to become a recluse. The goal is to be so rooted in your own company that you bring your own light to every room you enter. You shouldn't be searching for a missing half in someone else. You should be showing up as a whole person. Solitude is the foundation of that wholeness. It is the practice ground for courage. It is where you learn that you can survive the worst of your thoughts and the quietest of your nights. And once you know you can survive being alone, you are truly free. You can no longer be coerced by the fear of rejection. You can no longer be manipulated by the promise of belonging. You belong to yourself. Before we conclude, if this message resonated with you, please give this video a like. It helps the algorithm find other seekers who are struggling with the noise of the world. Sharing this video is an act of Stoic virtue, helping others find the path to their own inner peace. Life is short and the world is loud. Do not let the noise drown out the only voice that truly matters. Your soul is a retreat, but only if you take the time to visit it. The next time you see someone sitting alone, don't pity them, respect them. And the next time you have the chance to be alone, don't fear it, embrace it. It is not an empty space. It is a room waiting for you to fill it with your own presence. Nothing changes in your life until you do. You can listen to these words. You can understand the philosophy. But if you don't take the time to sit in that silence, you are just collecting information. You need to practice. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now to take the next step in your Stoic journey. It's time to move from knowing to doing. I'll meet you there. This is Stoicism in practice. Stay sovereign, stay silent, stay strong.